The CFL and CFLPA reached a tentative deal on a new 7-year CBA, collective bargaining agreement, and the strike seems to be over. So the gloom and doom that some have been pushing is finally over. The CFL and its CFLPA have come to a new 7-year collective bargaining agreement. The agreement ended the second strike in CFL history, which lasted just 4 days. The previous CFL strike was in 1974, when I was born, and settled before the season started. Late last night, the CFL put out the following tweet, quote, "The CFL and the CFLPA have reached a tentative agreement subject to ratification." So what does that mean? That means everybody's got to vote on it. The agreement must still be ratified by both the CFL Board of Governors and the CFL Players Association. Lots of people need to vote, but teams are expected to report today on the 19th of May for walkthroughs and start preseason training camp. In a memo to the CFLPA, it said, quote, "We will inform the league that we have approved a memorandum of agreement and that we have ended our strike. We believe the clubs still want to start training camp soon, and players should expect to hear from them." Word on the street is that players should be hearing from teams today, and they could be in practice this afternoon. Now, the devil's in the details. According to TSN's Farhan Lalji, the deal is good for players and the CFL. Oh, people were saying how evil. We'll get into that in a second. He says, quote, "I think this is a very good deal for the players and really the CFL as a whole. A meaningful increase to salary cap. That's a good thing. Access to all revenues, including Grey Cup, and the ability to audit the numbers. To me, that is the biggest part here. 5 year of medical benefits by 3 year of a deal, protection of jobs and veteran Canadian jobs and veteran Americans." Dave Naylor also said ratio update: 8 starting Canadians, one of whom is nationalized Canadian, vet Americans at least 3 years, same team, or 5 in the league. 3 other nationalized Americans can play up to 49% of all the snaps on offense or defense. I believe later on, Dave Naylor had said that's a cumulative thing, like towards the end of the season. That just seems like a lot of somebody needs to just be hired just to manage that ratio stuff. Good luck with that. Farhan also goes on to say the ability to negotiate up to a 50% guarantee on the 3rd year of a 3-year deal, 7-year deal with an opt-out after the TSN deal expires in 5 years. I also think that is a big deal too. Plus the deal ends 30 days before training camp, so they don't get into this right before training camp. Farhan says, "This is the best deal I've seen the players get and really win for both sides." I seem to agree. Dave Naylor also says, "Honestly surprised the CFLPA did this well, given the league's finances the past 2 years. Was a bit of a perfect storm for the players' resolve. Overall result is league moving the players' direction in several key areas. I did not see that coming a year ago." According to Paul Friesen of the Winnipeg Sun, Blue Bombers player rep Adam Bighill said, quote, "But I'm confident we knocked it out of the park. The best that we could do. We can see how much the deal changed in a matter of 1 day. We did what we needed to do for the players and were able to get it done." Now, CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosie and the owners got significant heat from some players, and of course, the usual band of FUD CFL reporters: fear, uncertainty, doubt. Guys like to do that. They say they love the CFL, but then they hate on it all the time. So do you think this is a fair deal for the players? Leave us leave us a comment in the comment section. Here's my 2 takeaways from this. One is the access to all revenues and the ability to audit the numbers. That to me is the biggest thing in this deal, because if you have the ability, if you are somebody who is making money and you don't want the other side to know how much money you made, then you would say, no, I don't want you to be able to audit the numbers. And we'll see, this could be all talk, and then actually when they try to execute it, it could be an impossible thing to do. But clearly, for what it says right there, is the ability to audit the numbers. So if you're somebody who's making a lot of money and don't want the other side to see that you're making a lot of money, you're not going to want to agree to this. On the flip side, if somebody is accusing you of making a lot of money and holding out, and you are not holding out, and you're like, no, bro, seriously, I'm not making that much money, then you agree to something like this. That part is interesting, because covering the CFL, whether you are pro player, anti Randy Ambrosie, wherever, I even tried to write an article about some of the finances of the league, and there is no real there is no numbers out there that are really accurate. You have one place saying that the Elks make $25 million a year, and then in another place they say they lost millions of dollars a year, and then last year they lost 1.1 million. So it's all over the place. So the league opening up their books to the Players Association, to me, seems to be that is a big deal, and I would absolutely audit their numbers and put it out there. You can't work from fake whatever. You need data so that you can know where you're at and know where you need to build from. The other piece that I thought was really important, the 7-year deal with an opt-out after the TSN deal expires. Because if TSN agrees to a big bump in money, then of course the players should get more money. And then the deal should be changed depending on the TSN deal. If I'm the CFL, I do not just go exclusively with TSN. I need to have CTV. I need to do other deals, because being locked into one network is not help. And I've said this all along. One of the major things is, the NFL has games on CTV and the CFL doesn't. That's messed up. One game a week, CTV. The fact that there's gambling involved now, the fact that spring leagues are so successful and generating ratings, and how television is changing and sports is the king and football is the king on top of that. I think they have a nice negotiating for not only for TSN, but we'll see what the ratings are, but also to get on CTV is super, super important. So those are the two key takeaways that I see in this deal at this point. This CFL 2022 regular season kicks off June 9th with the Montreal Alouettes taking on the Calgary Stampeders. No word yet on if the 4-day strike will affect its preseason. Dave Naylor is reporting that games could change. He says hearing Monday, May 23rd, preseason game between the Bombers and Riders will be moved. Announcement expected Thursday, which is today. So let us know in the comments. Once again, we are excited. The CFL and CFLPA reached a tentative deal on a new 7-year CBA. The strike is over, and now we can get to playing some 3-down football. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think of the deal in the comments.